Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity. Today we are going to be talking about brands that are sneaking up in price and we as consumers notice. I honestly can't remember which video it was, but I made a comment about brands kind of sneaking up in price, getting a little more expensive, and the fact that I noticed it, and I made a comment about how that would make like a good video, and it honestly might have been even a comment on my Snapchat or Instagram, something like that, but someone else commented back and said, yes, do a video. I'd love to hear what other brands you think are sneaking up in price. So I put it on my list to get around to one day, and today's the day. So I am sorry, I don't remember who asked me to do this video. I do try to take like screenshots and write down so that I can remember, and when I do the actual video, thank you guys, or just give you a little credit for the inspiration, because I do appreciate when you guys give me inspiration for what kind of videos you want to see, because that is very helpful as a creator. But anyway, as I said, I am very sorry. I will try to do better from now on and make sure I get those screenshots and actually save them, because I went through a little like deletion fiasco on my phone one day because I was running out of memory and I think I might have deleted it, so I'll try to do better next time. So yeah, if you are curious to hear what other brands that I've noticed are inching up in price, then let's get to it. So the first brand that I honestly think I made the comment about and just is the inspiration for this video is e.l.f. Cosmetics. And I think the part of it that makes it so hard for me to accept the prices that they're putting out now is because when they first came out on the scene, they were known for being so affordable and relatively good. Like, e.l.f. wasn't known for having all amazing products. There were definitely hits and misses within the brand, but the thing that made e.l.f. so easy to recommend to people was because it was so affordable. If you got like a $1 brush that was crap, but you bought like 5 brushes and, you know, 2 of them were your holy grails, that's still like $5 for 2 good brushes. That's a good deal still. So I think that's why e.l.f. was just such a well-known and good brand. But in recent years, and I feel like really, like honestly, the last year, maybe 2, they've been jumping up in price. And not exactly the products that they have always had, though their black handled brush line when it first launched was $3. Now I think everything is $4 or $6. It's only $1, but it's gotten a little more expensive, which is a bummer because their brushes are really good, but I find myself not wanting to try as many of their black brushes because they're like $6, $7 a piece. So I can't just buy like 5 brushes and see which one works and which ones didn't, and then, cut my losses with the ones that didn't, because that adds up. But if those $6 black brushes weren't bad enough, e.l.f. decided to come out with clear brushes. And I'm sorry to say, but for me personally, the black brushes look a lot more luxe than these white brushes, and they're charging a lot more money for these white brushes. So I haven't tried any of the brushes with the clear handle, but their face brushes are $12, which that I feel like is pretty darn pricey. Yes, it's not up there with Sigma, it's still more affordable, but it's expensive for a brand that you expected to buy like $1, $2, $5 products from. I feel like when they first came along, I don't think anything e.l.f. sold was over $5. Like, it was like a Wet n Wild, except now they're beyond Wet n Wild at this point. They might be good quality, but I think the thing that we forget is that when brands first launch, and I think Nicole made a comment because people were kind of outraged at, I think when Laura Lee first launched her palette, people were like, oh, $40 is way too expensive. She should have started lower, and then she could have raised her price after she kind of got an established base. But as Stephanie kind of pointed out, to say that, like, no, you can't do that because everyone would get upset. And I think this shows you just exactly how true those words are, because even if e.l.f. is stepping up their game, their expectations and the customer love comes from them having such affordable products. So as they continue to raise their prices, I continue to get a little and it's not like e.l.f. isn't a brand anymore that I would recommend just, hey, go buy a couple things and see what you like, because I don't want someone to go buy, I don't know, 10 of their brushes from this white line, and if all of them are crap, that's a lot of money. That's over $100 that they've now wasted. So it's not as easy to just recommend the brand as a whole. But anyway, I'm getting a little distracted. I did want to point out that their face primers now are $10, which is more than like the foundation that they're well known for. They also just came out with a Beauty Shield SPF 50 primer for $12. Even more expensive. I mean, that's honestly, at that price, you're with like L'Oreal in the drugstore. Their lip products are a little bit better, but still you're paying like around $6 for a product. Again, I feel like that's just like with Maybelline. And for me, like, I never really put e.l.f. on the same line as Maybelline. Maybelline just seemed a little bit better, more expensive and stuff, and that it kind of was okay because the price was more expensive, so the quality was a little more expensive. But now I feel like with e.l.f. you're getting nicer, true, but still pretty inexpensive, you know, cheap packaging kind of thing for a higher price tag. And one last thing with e.l.f. that I noticed when I was on their website is that their eyeshadow palettes that they're releasing, they used to have like 10 little eyeshadows. There's a 10-pan palette for $10, and I always thought that that was a good price because you're paying $1 a shadow. Yes, they're small, but they still give you a variety of shades, and $10, $1 a shadow, that's pretty darn good. But they just released new palettes to their line, and it has 7 eyeshadows in the pan for $12. So fewer shadows and more money. Okay, e.l.f. And if that wasn't bad enough, they also sell Velvet Touch eyeshadow palettes, which look kind of like metallic shades. There might be some, I don't think there's any mattes. But anyway, you get 6 shadows for $12. Now again, that's only a little bit of an increase, but it's still an increase. And I feel like, what, next year, is it going to be $16 for 6 shadows? Like, I'm just really disconcerted with e.l.f. raising up their prices so much. Another brand that is starting to do this, they're still pretty darn safe in my eyes, but they're starting to get up there with some of their recent releases, and it is Wet n Wild. They released a highlighter palette that had 4 different pans of highlighters for the holidays last year, and it retailed for $15, and a lot of people were kind of because when you think of e.l.f. and when you see e.l.f., e.l.f. is like $2.99, $4.99 kind of prices. They're very affordable. I mean, they sell 99-cent eyeshadow singles that are phenomenal, and the quality's amazing, but they're just so affordable. Yes, you get 4 highlighters in this palette, but I think the beauty of these really inexpensive and cheap brands at the drugstore is that you can get one thing and not spend a whole lot of money. Like, you buy one thing and you're basically like throwing pocket change at it, and that's what we like about it. So while yes, you know, it's nice that you're getting 4 different things, I think people would have preferred to have seen like new highlighters singles come out for like $2.99 again. That way they could get, if they only liked one shade, they could get one shade. Now I can kind of understand the highlighter palette, but what I don't understand, and what I honestly I don't have any plans to support, is their Pro brush line. These are like the kind of, oh, they're like rose gold pinky handled brushes, and their face brushes retail for around $8, which isn't awful. But honestly, at that price, I would just go and purchase from Real Techniques. Real Techniques is around that same price for a face type brush, like their regular line, not their like metallic or whatever line, but just go purchase from Real Techniques because, and my reason for saying this is because I purchased their, what was that little, it was like a silver bundle, I'll put it up here, of brushes. I want to say it was like 10 or 15, not 15, it was maybe 10 brushes, and they were all like silver handled brushes. Over the holidays they released it, I want to say, and I bought it at half price. And at this point, I think the only brush that I actually like and use is the blending brush, and I feel like you can get blending brushes everywhere. All the other brushes either were oddly shaped or just didn't work well. Like, and the foundation brushes, when I was using it, I would continuously get like all the little bristles falling out on my face, and that is so annoying. And because they were white bristles, it was very hard to find it on my face. I would just be like, I feel something, where is it? So I wasn't very impressed with the quality, and those brushes were a little more expensive. So they have these brushes, they look the same except they're like pink tinted instead of just the silver, and I'm just like, no. $8, like no. And then they have a brush set if you want to get them all for, what was it, 60 bucks? No, 70 bucks. And I just can't see spending 70 bucks on Wet n Wild products. They would have to be amazing brushes. And just with my experience, I wasn't that impressed. I do, however, recommend their white handled brushes. I have a lot of them. I want to say they range from $1 to like $3. That is what I'm talking about, Wet n Wild. Stick to that line. Stick to, you know, giving us really affordable brushes that we can just try a bunch without breaking the bank. $70 to try 10 of your brushes? Not so much. And the last brand I want to touch on is Makeup Geek. And mostly because when they first were released and they first launched their brand, it was to promote being able to buy more affordable makeup that was still very good quality. I feel like that was their kind of basis to their releases and their products, is that they had good quality, good payoff, good pigmentation to their eyeshadows, but you could buy it for $6 and it was affordable as comparison to like MAC or any one of those higher priced items or higher brands. And that was kind of what they built their name on, was that they were super affordable but super good quality. Now, since their release, ColourPop has come along to sell $5 single eyeshadows that are really good quality, at least in their palettes. I've actually never tried their singles, but their palettes are really good quality. And then also like Sydney Grace Company, they sell singles for $6, really good quality. So other people are able to do it. But I feel like ever since they launched those eyeshadows, they just, everything they release is just inching up in price. So I went on their website and was looking around, and after their eyeshadows, they came out with their foiled eyeshadows, and those were $10. I know that's not a crazy price, but considering how many eyeshadows there are out there that have really good foiled shadows, either in pans or stuff you can buy as a single, that is just expensive. And if I wanted to go get like 4 of their eyeshadows, I'd be paying $40 to get 4 of their foiled eyeshadows. So for me personally, it's very hard for me to recommend their foiled shadows, even though they are amazing quality. And then I forget when they came out with pigments, but those were $9, which, I mean, pigments, I'm not someone who likes to work with pigments, so to pay more money for something that's more of a struggle to use, that was an easy no for me. And I do remember that when they came out with the sparklers, or little glitter, loose glitter, those are $10 for a mess. No thank you. I'd rather pay double that and get the Stila glitter and little glitter, oh my goodness, glitter and glow, little liquid eyeshadows, and you get so much glitter for not anywhere near as big a mess as these little sparklers look to be. And then more recently, they came out with highlighters, and the highlighters look gorgeous. I heard a lot of good things about them, but they're $20 a pop. I'm sorry, but that's like nowhere near drugstore friendly, which is where I feel like she started with her eyeshadows. I don't know. I have not tried one of their highlighters, and I will admit it right here. The reason I haven't tried one of their highlighters is because I don't feel like spending $20 on it. I mean, at that price, you're at high end. And just a few more, their iconic lipsticks are $15, and those lipsticks are really nice. I really enjoy the 2 that I have, but $15 is not super cheap. And then most recently, they came out with little eyeshadow quads, like little palettes, for $20. You get 4 shades. I can count. You get 4 shades. Oh my gosh. You get 4 shades for $20. Again, that's only $5 a shade. But if you are gonna put it in a palette, I don't know, when I see stuff in palettes or bundles, I expect to be getting something of a discount. And basically, she took $1 off of each of them. I don't know, it's still pricey in my opinion. And then most recently, this is the last one I promise, is their complete palettes. They came out with like face palettes, and there's 4 different face products. I think there's highlighters, blush, and bronzer in here for $38. Again, it's just really expensive. Oh, and they also came out with a Mega Vault, like a magnetic palette that I'm really curious to try, but it's $28, so it's expensive. And again, these aren't crazy prices for Makeup Geek, but they are more expensive than I feel like she presented her brand in the beginning. So as we're seeing these climbs in price, sure, the quality might be better. Oh, she just released her pigments. I totally forgot about that. What are they? I think they're $10 a piece, the little squares. Everyone's angry at the squares, but they are more expensive. And the reason she said was because there's like so much pigment in them, something along those lines. But yes, there may be a reason why there's more, but honestly, I just feel like as a consumer, I want you to keep giving me the products that I come to depend on you for. So if I come to depend on a brand to give me affordable products that are for the most part great quality, keep doing that. Oh, how long is that on my mouth? Sorry about that. So there you have it. Those are all the brands that I wanted to mention that I've noticed just across the board really sneaking up in price, and I'm not very comfortable with it. As I said, I think Stephanie Nicole made a great point when she said that if you start low, people are going to expect you to stay low, and I feel like me making this video is proof of that. These are brands that started low and presented their brand as affordable products at a very inexpensive cost, and as they're sneaking up in price, we're just like, whoa, like, what are you doing? I don't mean this video to come across as bashing to the brands. I love a lot of products from these brands, and I do recommend them, but I think my issue, and one of the things that I find frustrating as an influencer, is that especially brands like e.l.f. and Wet n Wild, they used to be brands I could just blindly tell, like my friends, my sisters, get a couple of things from the brand that you need and see what works, and they wouldn't break the bank doing so. But at this point, especially like with e.l.f., if they went and bought 5 things from e.l.f. at this point, unless they were searching from the bottom of the price range, they could spend like $50, $60, and I just think that's that's so far from where the brand started. And I really miss the original e.l.f. because I remember for me when I started out with makeup, I would go to my Walmart and go to the e.l.f. section and pick a couple things for $1 and I'd walk out and have not spent over like 10 bucks. And for the most part, I could use everything just fine, especially since I was just getting into makeup. But anyway, I'm starting to get on a little rabbit trail here. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and let me know down below in the comments which brands do you think that are also sneaking up in price. I'm sure I missed brands, but these were just 3 that I felt like were screaming the loudest at me when I sat down to think about brands that were starting to get a little expensive. But yeah, let me know what you think, and if you'd like to see a part 2 of this, I can do that. I can kind of keep a list and then just make a video once I have a couple more brands on my list. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.